In wishing everybody a happy new year. Now, that may not be very obvious to all of us. First and foremost, we've all seen that last year, 2019, was saturated with elections at all levels, right up to the presidential elections. We've been able to draw lessons from the pre-election preparations, the actual conduct, and the post-election activities. A lot of things have come to light. We've all converged, especially in the security sector, to look at the outcome of the elections. We've made our own assessment, not only at the strategic and operational, but right down to the lowest level, the tactical level. Lessons have been drawn, and I want to assure everybody that these lessons are actually going to reflect on the elections that are about to be held early this year. Now, like the co-chairman has said, we have a responsibility for securing this process. The voters, and indeed the wider society, has a lot of expectations on us, and we need to fulfill the legitimate expectations of the people by behaving in accordance with the statutes. For those of us in the security environment, what we need to do is to address the challenges that we had in the previous elections and to ensure that these things do not recur. Securing the environment, protecting the electorate, protecting those who actually will engage in the process, the officials of INEC and other state officials, is a responsibility for all of us. Now, without collaboration, active, sincere collaboration, we cannot instill confidence in the larger society. It is extremely important also for us to know that this time around, whatever gave rise to the problems we had during the last elections, we must be able to deal with. And what I want to say is that there must be consequences for bad behavior. Bad behavior not only in relation to thugs, criminals, outlaws, and people who just want to upset the entire system, but our own elements, our own agents, who either by design or default will want to scuttle this process, must be brought to book. For the first time in the history of this country, we must be able to carry through to a logical conclusion any acts that are contrary to what the state has placed. Anybody who behaves outside the confines of legitimacy will have to be dealt with. Anything that is illegal, we are not going to allow to be pushed under the carpet. We've had a lot of meetings with the Inspector General of Police and the co-chairman, and I want this to go right down the line for the security agencies. Finally, I want to reassure the nation that we will, as much as possible, try and conduct elections and secure the environment and those people who are engaged. We want to give everybody who wants to vote, everybody who wants to exercise his legitimate rights, allows him to exercise this right without feeling of intimidation, without being pushed into a situation whereby he will have to abandon what he wants to do. On this note, I wish us the best of luck. Thank you very much.
The area that I would call for synergy is really synergy between the security agencies performing electoral duties with the INEC officials themselves. No tout can come out and commit any electoral offense on the election day without connivance from either the security agents or the INEC officials or the politicians. But when we work together, everybody knows his responsibility. But when we work together, we can thwart and stop anybody that would want to disrupt election. For example, security of the polling booth, where the presiding officers are, the electors are coming to cast their vote, and then security personnel are there to provide security. The security personnel there are not armed, but they are to observe and see what is there and then report and give advice to the electoral officials. No doubt, if we cooperate, no doubt can be greater than any security agents. Not police, not the military, not any of those other agencies involved. The electoral officials, when they are performing their duties, no interference should come from anybody, including security agencies. But when some security breaches or electoral breaches are seen, and the security personnel advise the INEC official on the line of action to take so as to avert disruption of the process, I think that advice should be taken seriously and be looked into, rather than saying, it is my responsibility, it's not yours, I'm going to take the action that I'm supposed to take. We have examples of where advice are given because of some breaches that were found, but then it was not taken, and at the end, we know what happened. Complaints here and there, and then people reacted and disrupted the process. So we will reiterate our position that any election that is to be conducted, we've learned a lot of lessons from the previous ones, where we saw some areas where breaches took place and that people observed them and solutions must be found, especially where we had ballot snatching, ballot box snatching, where we had violent reactions from the electorate themselves. From now onward, we will not tolerate that. From now onward, we are going to give an example during this rerun. Anybody that comes to disrupt the electoral process, or within the security agencies, some that are coming to compromise the system, or within the INEC, some that will want to compromise the system, the moment you identify, we will immediately take you out of the system and make sure that the system is not disrupted, and action, serious action will be taken. The same thing with the politicians. If we don't do this, then removing violence and disruption of electoral process will continue. And the rerun election is going to be a test case of what I'm saying. Thank you very much.
Of this formal voting, which is the business of the day. But all other persons who are not part of the meeting,